You're listening to Relatable with Stephanie and Michele, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Relatable. I am your host, Stephanie Michele, and I haven't done a rant in a while, and I have a couple things actually to rant about today, and they both fall under the theme of your role in it. Be accountable for your role in it. So my first thing that's on my mind is a couple weeks ago, Bill Maher got in trouble on his program when he slipped in the word, I'm not going to say the word, but the N-word, in a conversation with a Nebraskan senator. And, it happened very fast. I don't even think he really realized it. The audience didn't react too much in the moment, but of course afterwards, people were pretty outraged that, he would say something like that, and he would be so quick to, and thoughtless really, to say something about, say that word. And then, of course, on the next show, he brought back, he had a minister, and Ice Cube came on to kind of, put their perspective on, hey, here's why you shouldn't use this word. And I have a little trouble, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this. I'm stepping in somewhere here, and I'm okay with that. But I have a little trouble, a little hard time with Ice Cube's response. And so he was saying that, hey, that's our word, and we get to choose how we're going to use it. We're taking it back. It's not yours to use. You shouldn't use it. No questions asked, even if it was being, just for humor. And he knows that he didn't use it with the intent to hurt anyone. But I have a little problem with that, because I think that, just how we work, if something's out there in the consciousness of civilization, it's up for people to use, whether they're, conscious about it or not. And if you really want people to not use this word that's causing people harm and has caused people harm, you shouldn't be able to use it either in pop culture or music. I think of it like this: if the word is a weapon, and if you were carrying around a weapon that caused people harm, and you're saying hey, I can carry this around, but you can't, you're using it too. So I don't know. I'm just saying consider not using it at all. Maybe we all shouldn't use it. There shouldn't be a double standard around something like this. I know it's yours. I believe it's yours. In terms of Black community, I do believe it's yours to use, and you do have a right to use it the way that you want to. I would just want you to consider that if you want people to be successful with something or with you, give them the tools to do that. So don't put it out there for use at all. That's my thoughts on that. My other rant is connected to this, again, about just being accountable for your role in it. Has to do with chatbots. So I'm speaking to chatbot developers directly. If you're not familiar with what a chatbot is, it's a computer program designed to simulate conversations with human users, especially through the internet. And the last week, the Facebook advertising chat box is really pissing me off. It's stalking me, it's annoying, I want it to stop. I'm getting something from it every 2 days, and then when I try to interact with it, it's not responding. So it said something like, hey, an ad campaign that you're running on a page just ended. Do you want to see the results? Do you want to see the report? And I was like, yeah, sure, yes, send that to me. Nothing. I got nothing back. But yet I get another advertisement. It wants me to do something. And then it had some canned responses in the, the message that, pick this or that. Well, they didn't even match up with what was going on with me. So I get it, Facebook, you're in beta stage, and I'm your guinea pig, and the rest of us are your guinea pigs. I get it. I didn't sign up to be that. But in a way, I kind of did, because it's a free service, and this is exactly what they're going to do with people. They're going to beta things until they work it out. But I'm just a little irritated that now I have to figure out how to get it off or turn it off and use my valuable time to get that thing to stop. So I'm annoyed by it. And because chatbots were on the mind this weekend, I had a conversation with a woman that told me she was going to plug in a chatbot to interact with her potential dates on an online dating site. And I just thought that was the most disgusting thing I've ever heard and had to do a little bit of research. And the reason why I was so disgusted by it, number one, there's already some pretty high statistics about fake profiles in online dating. So if you're online dating or using these apps, you're already interacting with a certain amount of fakeness. The idea that somebody would put something in play to interact with me, another real human, that really pisses me off. I think it's really uncool. And it contributes to like this, unpleasantness, like that, if you have this interaction, you don't know you're speaking to a chatbot, and now you're contributing that to an unpleasant human interaction, like that's not good. That's not going to advance us. When we stop believing in ourselves, we are screwed. So I don't like these things. I consider these things another type of fast food relating. They're filling up our times, but they're not contributing to our well-being. And I would just really encourage you, chatbot developers, to realize your role in it and understand what you're doing to hurt and help people, and just really consider that and develop better. What else can I say? And just make it transparent. Like, I'm okay with chatbots as long as they're transparent. There was one that I came across as I was researching the chatbots for the dating world, and it's this app or this chatbot called Bubby. Bubby is a thing that, like your Bubby, you can get some advice from and help you match with a potential date or whatnot. I liked this one because it said that they were going to be hybrid. It's artificial intelligence, but hybrid with human interaction. But I sent a message to it and said, hey, when you come to Los Angeles, and I immediately got, hey, this is the advertisement to download the app, and then I asked another question, and I got the same message. So still some room to go on this. At least it was transparent about, yes, you are interacting with the bot, but that experience was still not pleasant enough for me to believe that there actually is human interaction in the process, and I want to go forward with it. So just asking you guys to consider this and not put out more things that make it seem like it's unfavorable and a pain in the butt to interact with people. So that's my rant. Send your hate mail too. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think I'm just asking people to consider this. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm just saying consider it. With that being said, I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to shift gears to talk more about feel-good relating. And one of the things that I love in terms of like moving towards experiences where we feel good about the kind of relating that we're having is just the simple art of complimenting. It's actually like the fastest way that you can assure that you're going to be in a mutually beneficial feel-good relating experience. So, of course, if you're receiving the compliment, yeah, that feels good. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. But if you're the giver of the compliment, that is equally rewarding because you now get to see the person light up or, be gracious and say, oh, thank you for noticing. And that smile or that energy coming back really warms you up. So I think it's really cool and mutually beneficial to be the giver of compliments. So we're going to talk all about that, and that will be connected to the social challenge of the week, which brings me to meeting my guest here on my left. This is Peter Drivas. And Peter is a New Yorker who moved to downtown Los Angeles, easy for me to say, Los Angeles, in 2010. He founded the Los Angeles Arts Alliance, a nonprofit 501c organization committed to elevating the lives of economically challenged youth in Los Angeles through inspirational and aspirational arts and cultural programs. In between his work and philanthropic pursuits, Peter moves about his day with a heightened sense of presence so that he can compliment a stranger, share a laugh in an elevator, and generally speaking, make someone's day.
That's true.
That's a nice bio to have.
Thank you.
Peter, welcome.
Well, thanks so much. Thank you for letting me join in.
Yeah. What'd you think about my non-feel-good relating things at the beginning?
On the chat box, just coincidentally, I had to deal with that this weekend.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you have to expose yourself. So if you meet someone and do this online, even though it's a great chat box, ultimately you have to be yourself.
Yeah.
So just squash the chat box and
Yeah.
just be you.
Yeah.
And no one's perfect, and whoever you meet, they'll get it, And if it'll work, it'll work. If it's not, it's not.
Well, we can only connect when we're being authentic, right? We can only make lasting, long relationships when it's like authentic communication is in the middle of that. So having another thing, because we already have a thing in the middle of our communication with the texting and not seeing somebody eye to eye, but to have like someone actually, one of these apps was talking about, well, we'll tell dirty jokes for you, or like, we'll be dirty and flirty, and it's like, well, what's going to happen when you get in front of this person and you're really shy and they like that dirty flirty person?
Exactly.
Like, that's not going to be helpful. It's a total fraud.
Yes.
It's a total fraud. So yes, be transparent. Know your role in it and be transparent are two of the themes I think today.
And be yourself.
And be yourself, for sure. So we are going to talk about compliments, and I've heard some of your stories, and I can't wait for you to share it with the audience. But I always ask each guest when they're sitting in that chair is if there's anything kind of pulling their attention or anything distracting you that you just want to get off your chest before we talk about today's topic. Do you have anything to share?
I think today is a great day. I've never done this, so of course it's a little nervousness. And I'm ready to go. There's nothing. Great drive, California sunshine.
No June gloom today.
No June gloom. It's why we're all here.
Yeah. All right. Well, then let's get into it. So I know, Peter, you have absolutely no fear when it comes to talking to strangers.
Correct.
Is that true? Okay. Why is that? Like, why is that so easy for you?
I think it's just part of who I am, and I feel that, well, now, I don't think I'm an intimidating person. I'm pretty friendly. I think that my voice is friendly, and I just think I'm easy to talk to, and that's kind of it. Yeah.
So you're seeing as you approach somebody that like they're somewhat welcoming or not like putting out like fear signals, so it's easier for you to approach and kind of say something to them if they're a stranger. Is that maybe?
Well, what it is I feel like I always say, excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt. And I don't go in harsh. I let them see me face forward. And again, I think I'm easy to look at. So I don't think I turn people off visually. So they'll go, okay.
You shower. He smells good for the audience. He smells good.
So I think, that I don't put people off on my initial question. I don't mean to interrupt. That's my standard question,
Okay. So I know what some of the things that you've done, but the audience doesn't know yet. So tell me like a recent experience where you kind of just complimented somebody or just had an exchange with a stranger. How did that go, or what was it?
Well, coincidentally, Saturday, because we live downtown, I went to Ralph's and, underground parking. So I go to the elevator, couple young, he holds the door. I said, thank you. And then she turns to him and says, honey, what would you like for dinner this week? And I said, well, I love Italian food, I love Mexican food. And I said, but the whole week, that's like pretty daunting. And so he turned to me and he said, I know. And he said, the whole week? I said, but you have to give her credit. Isn't she sweet to ask you what you want for dinner? Well, we only went one floor, and you're right, have a great day and all that. So for that moment, the three of us walk off the elevator smiling, laughing, and to me, that's what it's all about. That moment in time where we're smiling, we're laughing, and it stays with you for a little longer. And so in my world, when I approach people, I compliment them. I feel that we all have things going on, but for that moment in time that you laugh, I laugh, we forget about the harshness or whatever's going on in our lives. And that could be a domino effect. And then you tell someone, you make them laugh. And then, through the day, a lot more people are laughing than focusing on what's really going on in the world.
Yeah. I've one of my favorite places to work was at this coffee shop in Venice where you could sit kind of higher up and like watch everybody come in. And I would watch people, strangers, get in the line, and maybe someone have the courage to smile at somebody, And you can watch how that energy sort of just lifts everything up in the room. So that the person that receives the smile, like, smiles, and then anybody that witnessed it, they see it, and it lifts. But the exact opposite is true if someone's brave enough to do it, and the other person doesn't receive it. Now this person's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, and then it's like deadpan, the energy in the room. So it's such a simple thing, and I think we've forgotten that like we can have joy in these like simple interactions. It's such a simple thing. It's not so hard to do, and it feels so good, and it does put extra energy in your day. And it's like, why aren't we doing this more? You know?
Absolutely, absolutely.
But it does, like, I think it requires a certain amount of presence. Like, you can't do what you just did in this example in the elevator at the grocery store without, like, being available for interaction. You know, so you couldn't have been in your phone and missed the opportunity to see this lovely couple, you know, meal planning for the week. Like, you wouldn't have seen that.
Right.
Do you have anything that you do to stay present, to, like, really be in that moment? Are you conscious of that?
I'm an observer. And so when I walk, a lot of people say, oh, get a bike, get a motorcycle, get a scooter, whatever. But when you walk, and without the headphones, that's another crazy thing. But when you walk, you're experiencing where you are.
Yeah.
We live in a city, and the sounds of the city, the horn honking, sirens, people interacting, that's all part of the vibe.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're by the ocean, don't you want to hear the waves crashing?
Yeah.
So I think if you remove some of the electronic distractions, then you can really enjoy the moment. And when you're in your moment and you go, this is so cool, look at that building, I didn't notice that building, and look at that Ferrari, I wish I had one, and how cool. But you start getting within yourself energized. And then you express it and through conversation, and I think that's how I run.
Yeah, so it's like you might witness something and you're looking for someone to go, did you see that? You know, like to share that moment with someone.
Like even at a red light, one time this lady I had my convertible, my top was down, she had her convertible, her top was up, and I honked, and I, you know, did the window thing, and it was a sunny day, and I said, you would look so much better topless. Well, you have to laugh because it's, you know, it's a play on the word. You've got the convertible, but again, I think how I approach everything, I smile when I say it, and I've never had anyone get offended because I don't do that.
Right, like you knew, and then even in that moment, and there's lots of, you know, someone could be visualizing that moment and go, oh, that. And thinking that might not go off so well, but you know, you probably had like a look or a micro glance towards the convertible that made that comment okay. So
perfect.
So she didn't feel like you're catcalling her or it was inappropriate. Like she knew you were making it funny.
Right. And the next red light, she smiled. And the third red light, she said, "Do you want to go for coffee?" So it, you know, so it just you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
Yes.
All right. Well, so tell me a couple. What are some of your favorite moments? So you just told me this was recent this weekend. Okay. Can you think of a couple where you've really went out on a limb and they were just fun?
Okay, there's two. there's two guys in the grocery store.
Okay.
And one.
Are you picking up on this? Grocery store is a good place for
grocery store is the best.
Human interaction.
Best place is the grocery store. Excuse me, do you know which olive oil is better? That's a great opener. So these two guys, super buff. Like one is like 6'2". He looks like Popeye after the spinach. And they're talking to each other. And I'm coming up the aisle, and I thought, how do you look like that? How do you how many hours is this guy in the gym, right? So I walk over and I point at the big guy and interrupt them, and I go, "You arm wrestle now." And
how tall are you, Peter?
Oh, I'm only 5'6". He was like 6'3". His buddy was 6 foot. And so they turned, looked, laughed. We literally laughed. And I said, "You guys just have a great day." And then at the checkout, I was checking out. They happened to go to the next one, and he leaned over and he said, "Don't forget, arm wrestle now." but at that point, they got it.
Yeah.
And again, it was just to laugh. And the laughter is so contagious. You know, sometimes you're walking down the street and you hear people laughing, and you laugh out off of their laughter.
Yeah.
So that I thought was really cool. And lots of times in the elevators are just great places, because today you get on the elevator and someone, invariably, they're pulling out their phones. And I'll just say something like, "Gee, what did we do before cell phones?" And then they'll defend it. If they're young, they go, "Oh, well, I'm just checking my emails." I said, "Well, buddy, we're like 14 seconds from your floor, and you're a minute from your desk.
You probably don't have a signal in this elevator."
Yeah, besides that. But the thing is, it can wait. But they get it, and then you talk.
Yeah.
And like one time I was on the corner, and there was someone ranting about something, on the other corner I was uninterested in. So I just turned to the lady next to me and I said, well, don't you look lovely today? Thank you for brightening our day. And she turned to me and she said, oh my gosh, this old suit, it's 10 years old. I'm going on an interview. I'm so nervous. I've been praying all morning. I said, are you kidding me? You've got a teal blouse that's very trendy. You've got a beautiful smile. We start crossing the street, Figueroa, White Street. And I said, you know what, just be you.
You got this.
Smile, don't worry. And she just said, God bless you. You're so kind. I said, you know what? Don't worry, thank you, you're so sweet, but you nailed it. Just smile, be you. And sometimes there'll be a lady and I'll say something like, excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but like you today, you look lovely. So I would say, excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt. If no one said it today, you look fabulous. And then if it's a cloudy day and you're wearing bright colors, I'll say, thank you so much for wearing that bright colored blouse or dress and brightening up this dismal day. But all it is, and they smile, you smile, thank you so much, have a great day, you too. And for that little moment of time, it's all about good.
Yeah, I love it. So there's two things that came up in what you were just saying. So one is this idea that there was something going on in the other corner, and it was kind of maybe not the best energy, or just kind of high intense energy or anxiety. And I like the idea of being aware enough to go, you know what, I'm going to lighten this.
Right.
We're all experiencing this right now, and we've all had these moments where there's something publicly happening and it's awkward and you're uncomfortable and you feel other people are uncomfortable. It's a great time to use humor, or just say something even if you can't think of something to say, just smile at somebody.
Oh, totally.
It really helps, because those moments are uncomfortable and they go with us throughout the day. So that came up. And then I talk about the word grace a lot and the concept of grace. And my idea of grace is that it's just, it's not a religious thing, really. It's just that there's good spiritual, inspirational energy available to us at all times. And it flows through people. So the idea of saying something to somebody that made their day, and this woman's sweating this interview, and she's like, oh, thank you. And you just gave her this little extra energy.
That burst.
Yeah, I believe that's available at all times. And the idea of you being the giver of that, or being aware that, hey, there's something here that I can say that will help this person's day. That's awesome. That's how I believe in people. Again, I think we need to remember that we can make or break someone's day, and it's so much easier to make it.
Yes, and even if you go to the supermarket, and I'm an ice cream holic, well, the Dove bars come in 3s.
Yeah.
So I'll always say, would you like one? I could do 2, but 3's really pushing it.
I'd like to be behind you.
I've done it to the checker, to people, but they smile, they laugh, and it's so easy to make people smile. And smiles, like we were saying, are contagious. And they stay with you for a bit. It could be to the end of the block, down the block, and then you're smiling, someone else sees you, they smile. When I walk, I smile at everybody.
Yeah. They're energy giving too. I like to think a lot of times is we've talked about this a lot on the show, you only have so much that you can care about in a day, and and put your energy towards, or put it out towards. And I imagine this vessel of water, right? Well, I have to be careful about what I'm putting out, especially when nothing's coming back in, and a smile is energy back in. A positive interaction with somebody is energy back in, but if you are not cautious of what you're putting out that's not so great, or what you're putting your concern towards, a guy that cuts you off in traffic, does he really deserve your concern? And now are you going to call 3 of your friends and say, oh, what a horrible thing happened to me, this guy? No, get over it. Right. That's just energy taking. You need that.
Yeah, it's just, but when the truck rear-ended me, then I had to stop.
Okay, that's different. Yeah, because there's now paperwork involved and money.
We need to focus on the positives, and it seems that as a society we focus on the negative, and so my whole thing is, wherever you can smile, wherever you can make someone feel a little bit better, go for it. Yeah, and guest on the show, Georgia, brought this up on the first show. Sometimes we talk too much, and people that are not in California go, oh, you damn Californians, and this negative, positive thing. Sometimes we talk more, and either one of us are native California, by the way, so we get a pass, maybe. Anyhow, but sometimes it seems a little
I don't know, faint, that it's, we're just talking about negative and positive, and maybe a better word is just meaningful. Like, aim towards meaning, like aim towards having meaningful interactions with people and contributing to that. That will make your day.
Yeah, the cup is 3/4 full. That's how I run.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a role model that kind of exhibits this behavior that you've learned it from? Is anybody in your family that would be this outgoing? And
actually, not a particular role model. Growing up, I've always been a smart aleck and a talker and witty, but I spent a lot of time observing.
Yeah.
And then through my life, I just embrace things that I feel are good. And somewhere along the line, this just became who I am.
Yeah.
And I just chat with people in unchattable places.
I think it's part about what draws a person like either one of us to a city like Los Angeles or New York, because you're going to have all of these different types of interactions, and you're curious, and it's kind of exciting. Like, you never know what the day holds, like who you're going to be standing in line next to. So it's nice to be in like an urban area and to sort of go, right?
Yes.
And go out and just go, wow. Like, I live right on the edge of the fashion district in downtown, and I love it. Like, there's so much color and like so many different ways people are expressing themselves, and I just totally love it. Like every part of it.
Right. Urban is so cool.
Urban is cool.
Suburbs, I don't know anymore.
I mean, I could do it with the right people, but I do like my urban lifestyle. So we talked about being present. Is there, like, do you ever, because you do this a lot, and so I think it probably comes natural to you, is there something that you're running in your mind, like, oh, I haven't tried that yet, like, I want to try that, like? No,
it's just random. Like, this couple, she just turned and said, what do you want for dinner all week? And that was my line, like,
has it ever backfired on you?
Interestingly, never.
Never.
I've never had where someone said, who asked you, or mind your business. But the way I approach it, I always say, excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, however.
Yeah.
And that's my first sentence.
And if you've gone too far, too, because you can watch someone's their eye contact and go, okay, I'm not going to take this joke any further.
Right, and then you don't, if there's two people talking, then you wait, and if they're on the phone, you're not going to interrupt them. Like walking down, by the U.S. Bank building, recently there's that new cool restaurant that's a little pricey. So you could see this young guy just graduated high school, he's with his brother and his parents, they're waiting for the valet, and I just walked over and I said, I see you just graduated, congratulations, and what a role model you are for your younger brother. He shook my hand, his father shook my hand, they were so excited.
Yeah.
And it's random. Yesterday, this little boy had a school project, which I thought school was out kind of. So on Flower, I just thought, that's a cool looking, he had the poster board with this whole thing, and I look and it's about recycling. So he was with his mom, and I just turned and said, that is so cool. Oh my gosh, look at you. And the mom said, oh, thank you. This is his first project. He just started summer school. And I said, proud, good for you. And there again, smile, smile, smile. He felt so good. A stranger observed it. Have a great day. You too. Thank you. Bye. And that was it.
Thank you. Bye.
And, and then you walk away smiling. He's a happy little guy.
Yeah.
So it's you just never know what it might be. Guy has a cool car. This guy had a red Corvette, and I went over, I said, oh, that car is so cool, I'm too short. He said, no, you're not. I said, no, really, I am. He says, here, sit in it. And he said, see, push the seat up and all this. I said, wow, maybe I should think about this. Yeah. But see, it's, again, if you approach in a friendly manner, complimentary, everyone can handle a compliment.
I think so. So let's try to help somebody that's maybe a little nervous about this, but they like the idea of being the giver of compliments and want to try this and want to experience like this kind of joy and smiling energy that we're talking about. Let's try to come up with a list of safe compliments or categories of compliments.
Okay.
So I'll start with the one that just kind of comes to mind as a woman. So. Again, there's this fine line of complimenting, especially a man complimenting a woman, where it's like, okay, it's a compliment, or it's just catcalling and you're objectifying me, and it's not cool because now I'm uncomfortable.
Right.
So I'm going to speak for my women. We experience that more.
Correct.
than I think men do.
Sure.
So, safe compliments in that zone. If you want to tell somebody, like you want them to know they look attractive, you've already said one of them. It's like a compliment on an item of clothing or jewelry, an accessory.
Right.
Eyes is usually safe. Like if you want to be safe, and you want this to work out for both of you, it's like, wow, I really like how you put that outfit together, or that's a great color on you, or you look fantastic. Generally, speaking, but try not to focus on body parts. Maybe
right.
Eyes are safe.
Right.
Eyes are safe. That's it.
Well, the idea is to begin with, thank you.
Yeah.
See, you're thanking them for taking the time to whatever they've done. Thank you for wearing that dress.
Yeah.
It brightens my day.
Yeah.
You never want to act like you're hitting on someone, because then there's no point.
Yeah.
And so I think if you begin with a thank you, I like I said, don't mean to interrupt, thank you so much, or I would be remiss if I didn't tell you how fabulous you look. If no one told you today, you look outstanding.
I like that line. If no one else has told you this today.
I pull that all the time.
Yeah, I like that one. That's really safe.
That's
if
called
no one
like
else has
putty
said
in my
it.
hand.
Yeah.
Then I got in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's slow. Because it's actually forcing them to kind of slow down. Has anybody told me this today?
Yes.
Like you actually kind of get them in a slow. Get them like. You actually will experience someone slowing down in a moment. Now they're more present with you too.
And shoes. Women love shoes. And so you say, you know what, I know way too much about shoes because I do, and those are outstanding.
Yeah.
And then if it is a couple, I'll say something like, oh my gosh, what a nice looking couple you are.
I like complimenting couples
and
too.
Have you done a selfie? You should do a selfie. You two are the best looking couple on this rainy day I've seen. Things like that.
Well, you just made me think of something. I hate selfies. I think they're stupid. I like the idea in that moment to say to them, let me take your picture.
Yes.
Like, you guys look great. Has anybody taken your picture today? Let me take your picture for you.
Moment. Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
Yes.
I mean, they could say no, but I like the idea of doing that for somebody. All right, so safe things, and in humor. So, let's talk about where the missed opportunities are. So, if you want to be more present and you want to compliment strangers, and I think there's a good segue to give more compliments and then give more compliments to the people that are in your life. So maybe start with strangers, get comfortable, or the other side. It really doesn't matter. Just compliment more. I think you'll benefit from it. So places we can compliment. We've talked about the grocery store.
Best easy place.
Easy place.
Easy place.
Easy place. Bad lighting, but easy place. Hey, you look great even in this bad lighting. Yes. Don't do that, by the way. That's a backwards compliment. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
Hey, you, but don't use buts in your compliments. Any kinds. The B-U-T or B-U-T-T. Don't use them.
Exactly.
Those are later. So grocery stores, anywhere there's a line, right?
Anywhere there's a line, yes. And never talk about, wow, this line is long, or, a line gives you an opportunity to make a friend. It's like when the police pull me over, it's an opportunity to make a friend.
You got pulled over?
Oh, I get pulled over all the time.
Why do you get pulled over?
I have a propensity to speed, but it's great experiences. Yeah. And so the thing is, you look at a negative, there's a line, clearly you have to go through this line, wait for whatever reason. Then say something to someone in a positive, and it's a distraction of what's going on, and then you talk for a moment or two, and then all of a sudden it's your turn. The line's gone.
Yeah.
So it
helps make it go by. Observe something and go, did you see that? What do you think of that?
And then opening a door. Recently, I walked in. I was leaving a store. 3 ladies walked in, and that show, Say Yes to the Dress.
Yeah.
I said, I'm holding the door for you, but remember, you must say yes to the dress. And then they laughed, and they said, okay, we will. But it's just random and nothing intense and just fun.
Fun.
Make people smile.
So anywhere there's a line. So coffee, getting coffee. Stopping at a long stoplight, you've talked about that. Where else?
And offer something you have.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the coffee shop and you don't want the whole piece of lemon pound cake at Starbucks, say, would you like to have half? Because I can't eat the whole thing.
That's nice.
It's just something simple.
I want you to be in front of me in the grocery store, especially because you seem to like sweets.
I love sweets, but I like sharing them so I don't get the whole girth of it.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, so we know some places that we can do this at. We know some safe compliments. what do we need to do? Let's kind of go back to just being present. I think this is a big part of it. What can we do? So you kind of do this. I think I do too. So we've got to kind of pull back and go, where does this come from? This idea that every time you walk out and you're in the space with people publicly, maybe just take a couple breaths, just kind of center yourself and put the phone away. Like, that's the first part of it. If you want to really be present, I would suggest 2 things. Put the phone away, breathe, just check in with where you are so that you are available for connection, you're available for your environment at the time, and maybe do a 360-degree turn and just see what's there.
Right, and take the headset off.
Take the headset off.
Experience where you are.
Not in the car. You can't do a 360-degree turn in the car. Let's just be clear about that.
But experience where you are. And the environment and the sounds. And then if it's sunny out or cloudy out or rainy out, enjoy that moment. Don't be distracted. You can hear the music later. You can hear it when you're in your car. But enjoy the moment you're in. Before
we started the show, Peter talked about something that I think New Yorkers just have, which is this, I'm looking at you, but I can see everywhere around me because I have to be, I have to be aware of my surroundings. Like, I can't walk out into a busy sidewalk and be run over. So that the idea of looking forward, but kind of experiment with yourself. Like, how much more can I see around me? Like, what else is going on? Look up, look down, look left, look right.
Totally.
See what's there. Like, that would even be an interesting experience. I bet that there are people that do the same thing and go to the same places every single day and have missed something. They've missed a mural, or they've missed a shop that's right there. They've missed how beautiful the sky looks between these 2 buildings or whatever. So it's kind of I'm going to work this into the social challenge of the day, but just really stop and look around and see what's there and question yourself. Have I seen everything in this environment and the people that are in there?
And take it in. Yeah. Take it in. And walking is just the best way to experience life.
I agree. And then let's talk about, so we talked about places. There's also closed spaces that are good for this kind of stuff too. So I think of elevators, and I think of shared rides. So the Lyfts and the Ubers, you're in a very intimate space. You're in someone's personal car.
Right.
And you're it's intimate. You're sitting in a car with a stranger. These are great places to start up conversations, practice questions, and compliment and make their day too.
Yes.
I'm always challenged by the awkward silence.
Yes.
In an elevator.
That frustrates me. Or anywhere. Awkward silence. Silence. I just feel we're missing out on something.
I do too.
There must be something about you that you can share with me, like cabs. First thing, so how long have you been doing this? 5 years. And you can see the person is obviously older. So you're retired. Good for you. What did you do for a living? Do you have children?
Yeah.
Simple. There's 3 things. You ask someone about children and pets, and there it is.
And an easy one. So the first one I usually ask when I get into a Lyft or an Uber is how long have you been driving today? Or is this your favorite time to drive? And within a couple of questions, I know if this person's even available to have more conversation.
Right.
Because some people don't want to talk, and that's fine.
Right.
And I might just end it with a compliment or let it be silence. But there are easy questions to ask if you're uncertain about, how can I have this positive exchange that's going to be more of a compliment or a funny thing?
Yes, absolutely.
To see if it's safe. Elevators, you don't have enough time to do that. You just got to go for it.
Yes.
Elevators, you're fun.
It. Yes.
Yeah. Just do it.
Yeah, maybe you have 10 floors. I had 1 floor. Yeah, you just go for it. But again, they smile, and it might just be a smile. Enjoy your day. Have a great afternoon. And it worked.
Yeah. My favorite thing right now to do, and I know I've told you this, is to ask somebody in an elevator, hey, have you heard a good joke lately? And because even if they don't come up with one right away, it's still triggering a muscle memory of humor, and it elicits a smile, and then you're like, okay, we're cool. There's good energy, there's positivity, and they'll think about it, and then later it's like, hey, I thought of a joke if I see the same person again.
Well, then you should always have one back. My forever one is, why did the cookie go to the doctor?
I don't know.
He felt crummy.
He felt crummy. He felt crumpy. I like this one. This is safe too. It's kids. No, we're silly. What did one penny say to the other?
I have no idea.
Now we make more sense.
Very good. But see, that's what it's all about. It doesn't have to be complicated, thought out. Just throw it out there in a nice, pleasant way, and it'll have the positive results.
Works.
Yes.
It totally works for everybody. All right. Well, so we know a little bit about what you like to do, and we talked about compliments, and so and the show's called Relatable, so we always try to find more ways that we can relate. And so one of the things that I like to show on this show, that there's always more information available. So we know a little bit about Peter, but we don't know everything about Peter. And at any given time, the circumstances of how we're relating can change. So we've been relating pretty lightheartedly and talking about a pretty easy concept to understand and something that brings joy. But there's probably more we can learn about you, Peter, I think. Okay. And so how we do it, so I have this random box of table topics. And it's called Not Your Mother's Table Topics, so they're silly. Okay, cool. So it might be still in the same, relating frequency, but I'm going to ask you a couple questions from this box. Cool. And if for people watching on Facebook Live, if you have a question, and I watch it, I can see it. If you have a question for either one of us, I will try to take that as well. So let's see. All right. If you had to sleep with one of your previous teachers, who would you choose?
Wow, that's amazing. Previous teachers would be, isn't this crazy? High school sister, this really cool brunette, and she's the one who inspired me to take French.
Okay, that's an easy one. So she had a sexy French accent. She could speak French very well.
She's very cool.
All right, let's see what else we got. That was an easy one. What's the difference between innocent flirting and cheating? Ooh. Oh.
Don't get me started on cheating.
It will change the frequency in how we're relating.
You know what I say about cheating? I think it's the lowest of lows and instant divorce, and the effort to invite someone, a stranger, into your life and make them think you're cool, bring it home. Yeah. I always say, you know what? Make your husband dinner surprise in the dining room with all the fancy china, whatever. Bring it home. Don't waste your time on a stranger. That's my whole effort on. I have no respect for cheaters. Sorry.
It's not
the door.
It's actually not one of my favorite topics either.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It's like if you're gonna do it, just like
don't get married.
Creates
get a divorce.
So much heartache.
Don't drag everybody into it.
Just be
move
done.
on.
Just like I'm done. Let's move on.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna let you ask me 2 questions in here. I haven't done this in a while.
All right.
Let's see, those were pretty tame. I'm probably gonna get the weird ones.
Okay. What skill do you possess that most people don't know about you?
What skill do I possess? Well, I'm learning to cook now, and I feel like an adult.
I was going to say, I bet you cook. Isn't that funny?
I haven't always. And a friend that I hadn't seen in a while opened up my refrigerator, and he's like, "Wow, you've really grown up." Because I remember when my refrigerator had like beer and condiments in it, and sadly that wasn't too long ago. And now it's like all these adult vegetables and fruits and like things to prepare meals and like, and I really dig it. Like there's a sense of, I have pride every time like I make a meal. But yeah, so I think like maybe a lot of my earlier friends in California wouldn't think that. They wouldn't know that I'm doing that now. Can't think of anything else.
Yeah,
you got one more?
I noticed a few, like a year or two ago, oh, what's that drawer on the bottom of the stove? And it's a broiler. Who knew?
Yeah, who knew? I lived in my loft for a few months. I don't want to say how many. And I'll shout out to the Chapman lofts because we've all had this conversation. Where there's a water filter built-in in our refrigerator that you just put the cup up, but it's inside. And if you're a little bit taller, you wouldn't see it because it's up kind of high, like towards like the freezer box. And I must have lived there for 6 months, and I was buying water and toting it back, like, oh, it's so heavy. And then someone showed me, and like, oh, geez, are you serious?
That is
we have a water
funny.
Filter in here.
But at least you're blonde.
Yeah, they can do that.
Do you believe in ESP?
ESP. Do I believe in ESP? Yeah, I do. I mean, I believe in frequency. I believe in everything having an energy, and so the idea of like recalling, something that's there. Yeah. Or deja vu, it's another one. I do,
sure. Yes.
I do believe in ESP.
Okay.
All right. So those are the fun questions. We're going to switch to the last segment of the show, which I call Heartswell. Okay. And what Heartswell is about is I ask every guest that comes on to just think of somebody that is really means something to them, means something to you in your life, and maybe were a mentor, or they've taught you something, or you're going through a new phase with this person, and you just really want to like give a shout out and say something like, special to this person. And the reason why I ask people to do this is I want to show that sharing deep feelings is not that scary, that we can all do it, and we all have deep feelings, and the more that we share them as a culture, then we just raise the level of empathy in the world, and I want that for everybody. So do you have someone in mind already?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Number one, I'm a very emotional person, and my dad was that generation, don't cry. Me.
Yeah.
Sad movie, bring the Kleenex. So on that note, I had a really good friend, Carl Gelbart, and Becky is his wife, and most recently in September, Becky was diagnosed with cancer, and she now is cancer-free as of a week or two ago, and she is an incredible person. She's very strong, and unfortunately, Carl left us about 1.5 years ago. Well, it's actually 2 years ago. And then she got this, and she's very positive. She's always sweet, and she's always upbeat. And so at this moment in my time, I would say Becky's my hero. And then through my nonprofit, I design jewelry. So I designed cancer awareness bracelets for ladies and men for her, and to promote them. So I feel that I'm with her on this. So that's the person, Becky Gelbart, shout out.
So Becky, you are his hero. That was what I heard in this.
Yes.
Like, how you're handling this challenge and how you inspire people. Like, she's lifting you up, and you appreciate her journey, and you're there for her.
Perfect.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Shout out to Becky. All right. Well, we are almost to the end of the show. I have a couple things to share. I really appreciate you being here.
Oh, thank you. This is good.
It's
I
fun,
like
right?
It's like, totally fun.
I mean, how can you not enjoy talking about compliments and like the idea of like helping people experience more of them? Like, hey, yeah.
Right.
High five for that. That's
Thank
what we're
you.
doing today.
Perfect.
So I really appreciate you being here.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
And you're going to help when I talk about the social challenge of the day, too. So we always have a social challenge of the week, and you're the inspiration for that. So first of all, I want to let people know that you can learn more about Peter's charity called the
Los Angeles Arts Alliance.
LAArtAlliance.org, and I will share that link after the show so you can learn more about that. And before we get to the social challenge of the week, just want to let you know what's coming up on next week's show. So I'm going to have an actress by the name of Taylor DeLine. And what's really cool about Taylor, she's a young woman who has identified with the fact that she experiences quite a bit of social anxiety, which is not uncommon. A lot of people, I think, are experiencing some sort of social anxiety these days. But to have that acknowledgement and then go and to auditions and go about the pursuit of her career and having to deal with so much like rejection, because if you ask any actor or actress, they have to deal with this. This is a regular part of like going on auditions and things and being told, oh, you should lose weight or you should do this or whatever.
Taller.
It sounds so tough, but so she's got, and she knows she has social anxiety, so she's going to share her pursuit and like what she's doing to kind of deal with that, and then be able to really pursue her career too. Isn't that cool? Like, she's willing to talk about that. So I'm really looking forward to chatting with Taylor. As I've said, I think a couple shows ago, I really want to get people on here that can stump me. So I say that, I can find something to relate to a certain topic or to a person, pretty easy. But I could be wrong. So I want people to stump me. So if you have like this weird thing or strange thing or just unique thing, let's say, that you're into and that you can talk about for 20 to 30 minutes, and that sometimes people, your friends and family, have challenged you to go, why are you so into this thing? Like, we don't get it. Like, if anybody's ever said to you, I don't understand why you're into that, I don't get it, I want you on this show, I want to hear about it, I want you to stump the relators. So reach out to me. My friend Robert's going, haha, be careful what you ask for on Facebook. No, I know what I'm asking for here, Robert. I definitely want to do this. I want someone to stump me. So reach out to me. You can get me on, you can get in touch with me on stephaniemichele.com, of course, or Love More Now on Twitter, or Relate with Steph on Instagram. And then lastly, like I said, the social challenge of the week, I'm going to call it Pull a Peter.
Okay.
Okay. So I definitely want to encourage people to be more present, put the phone away when you're running errands or you're standing in line, and just look around and see what's there and see if there's an opportunity for you to compliment someone, and just go for it. And I like your segue of like, do you mind, I don't mean to run up, but do you mind? And then saying, hey, thank you for showing up in this color. Like that thank you really diffuses things too.
Totally.
So pull a Peter, try some compliments. I dare you not to feel good about that. I dare you not to get something out of that in return. And then the phase 2 of that would be, so once you're comfortable and you're doing it, do it with your family, do it with your friends. Like, we probably take for granted the people in our lives the most. So you think that you've told your spouse like that they're fabulous and you're grateful that they're in your life, and you probably haven't, as much as they might want to hear it. So go out on a limb and just compliment people in your life as well, and let me know about it. Let me know how that works out. But that's your social challenge of the week. Pull a Peter, make more compliments.
Perfect.
You like it? You have a social challenge of the week named after you, Peter.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
That's cool.
Pull a Peter, yes.
Pull a Peter. Pull a Peter, and let me know.
Okay.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the show. We have a PSE coming up on Wednesday, June 28th, and you can find out more information about that on stephaniemichele.com. And until next week, I just challenge you to always relate with more curiosity. See you next week.
You're listening to Relatable with Stephanie Michele, only on LA Talk Radio.